So we hear a lot about red flags, but what are some green flags that couples should look for in a healthy relationship?
Oh, I like that question. That's neat. I don't think I've heard that question before. Yeah, what are the green flags? Respect. Respect, respect, respect. Well, actually, and now I'm going to add to that. Respect is fundamental. So you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't seem to respect you, who puts you down or who is just dismissive of your feelings or things like that. That's a red flag. But the green flag is you're with someone who shows you respect. But that's not enough, interestingly, because you also want someone who is willing to displease you, not because they're a jerk, not on purpose, not because they're setting out to displease you, but they're willing to be honest with you even if you don't want to hear it. So you want that too. So those are the two, I could say, kind of the two bases of stability and intimacy. You want somebody who will respect you so that you don't feel like, oh my God, everything is shaky, but you also want someone who's willing to rock the boat a little bit in the interest of intimacy. And that is a phenomenon I've heard a lot of over the years. I've been doing it, as I said, for 30 years plus. And I've noticed there's lots of women who will say, I just wish he wouldn't be so afraid of me. I mean, maybe that's not the language they would use, but they're saying, I want him to sweep me off my feet. But he's so respectful, he won't initiate anything. He won't try anything. I'll let him know if I don't like it. I want him to do it. And the guy is mystified because he's thinking, but I don't want to disrespect her. Consent is really important. Of course, consent is important. Again, I'm not saying it isn't, but there are so many folks that are afraid. And again, I'm sort of alluding to sexual intimacy, but not only sexual, all sorts of relational intimacy, where they're just afraid to just show up and be themselves. So that the courage to do that is also a green flag. So when you see someone who's like, wow, this person is willing to be themselves and also respects me and is willing to be themselves with me, and part of the respect thing, and they'll hear what I say when I'm being honest with them. That's all green flag stuff. Who occurs to me to mention in that context is the researcher John Gottman.